I've had 23 jobs in my life so far. My first job was as a dishwasher at a pizza buffet when I was 14. I lied to get the job and turned 15 before they asked to see my work permit. Oh, the 80s. I've been an animal control officer. I've managed restaurants, video stores, sales teams, even an online natural pharmacy. I once worked at a brewery repacking seasonal 12-packs. I lifted over 1,000 cases of beer a day. Hard work, but beer. In 2013, I became a full-time writer. In 2018, I went back out into the working world as a sales manager. It ain't easy making ends meet when you have a kid in college and one heading that direction. In March of 2020, I lost my sales manager job due to COVID-19. There are many of us out there, millions of us without a job, which is why I'm back at it, starting a new podcast, publishing some of my work on my own, and just trying to get by while the world takes one crazy turn after another. So come along and join me on this mad journey. At the very least, it's gonna be interesting. Welcome to Writing in Suburbia with Jake Bible. Hey y'all, just wanted to let you know that I have more than this podcast going on. I'm also publishing a weekly newsletter, as well as releasing chapters of novels, the original podcast recording of Dead Mech, the Friday Night Drabble Party, and so much more. Where is all this greatness? Go to jakebible.substack.com. That's jakebible.substack.com. You can subscribe for free and get plenty of cool stuff weekly. Or become a paid subscriber and get the first releases of novels and audiobooks before they go on sale. Full access to the Dead Mech podcast immediately instead of weekly installments. Access to the full archive and exclusive threads and discussions. Plus a ton of cool stuff I haven't even thought up yet. Head over to jakebible.substack.com and subscribe now. Again, welcome to Writing in Suburbia with Jake Bible. What is this podcast? It's a place where I talk about my career as a professional writer, my fiction, my dreams, my life and family, host other authors, eventually. Try out some new things, and just be real for a moment. I promise not to get preachy, to always be kind, and to be 100% honest, without hurting anyone. So, sit back and relax and prepare to be entertained. But before we get into the meat of the episode, how about some quick Jake Bible fiction news? Welcome to the JBF News. I just finished the manuscript to the 6th Rogue Galactic Bounty Hunter novel. The title is Quantum Chaos. It's off to Severed Press, so I'm not sure when the release date will be, but rest assured, I'll definitely let you know. It's one more good reason to subscribe to the newsletter. Also, I have revamped my website, jakebible.com, so head over there and have a look-see. A couple tweaks here, a couple tweaks there, just some touches that make it a little more user-friendly. One of those touches is I've created a web store for the works I have rights back to. Huzzah! You can find the link and banner at jakebible.com. Right now, you can get the Apex trilogy in ebook and audiobook formats, plus some of my short story collections and my writing advice book, 4 Weeks to Finished. Soon I'll have my Kaiju Winter series up there, including the long-awaited 4th book of the series. That's right, y'all, I'm finishing that series. Finally! Paid subscribers will get the first releases of each book and audiobooks included with their subscription. They don't have to go to the web store or any of the major retailers. Everything will be delivered right to them before it goes on sale anywhere else. Pretty cool. What else is going on? Well, I've been narrating producing audiobooks, which I'll get into later, but feel free to check out Traitor by Mark Eller. The first book in the series is available as a free audiobook over on Google Play. Worth checking out. What about insert novel series title here? Well, how about we move on from the news and get to the meat of the episode? I'll explain it all there. Or try to. Thanks, y'all. Some of you listening have been faithful fans, readers, friends, colleagues, and stalkers. Hi, Cooley, for years now. So you were around for the first incarnation of Writing in Suburbia. For those that are new to me and my work, I'm going to give a quick rundown of my career. I know, it sounds like I'm putting my Narcissus pants on, but trust me, this has been an interesting ride, so bear with me. Quick interlude! Bear with me is spelled like the animal, not like when you're naked. End of quick interlude. Let's see, where to start? How's about at the beginning? Okay, not the very beginning like in grade school and all that, but when my writing career began. In 2007, I got a job in customer service in an online supplement retailer. I'd been in the natural products biz for years, so it was a natural fit. It also had a ton of downtime. I quickly burned through book after book after book while waiting for the phone to ring until one day I decided that I was going to use my downtime to get back into creative writing instead of creative reading. I started small with some short stories, loving the fact that in the internet age I could be rejected almost immediately instead of waiting months for a rejection letter to arrive. What a world, right? I did end up selling some short stories, which gave me the confidence to write a novel. Did I go about it the traditional way and write the novel, then look for an agent, then try to find a publisher? Hell no. Being the crazy person that I am, and having just discovered podcast novels through iTunes, I decided that I'd podcast my first novel for free. That's not the crazy part. I was writing the novel as I podcasted. I didn't have a finished manuscript. I was writing that puppy week to week, always scrambling to get it done and recorded before the next episode was set to drop. That's the crazy part. Word of advice? Don't do that. Mind you, this was at the beginning of the iPod and just before the Kindle, so free podcast novels were a great way, and one of the only ways, to get your work out there digitally. I met some amazing folks in the podcast novel community, many that I'm still good friends with today. I even made a nemesis. Hi, Cooley. One of my major problems is I'm impatient. The first incarnation of this podcast, many years ago, was me just rambling into my Blue Yeti mic without any script or editing and calling it good. This podcast will be slightly better structured. My career has suffered at my impatience. Once Dead Mech was done and the last episode had been released, I should have done some editing and then started the hunt for an agent. Did I do that? Nope. I wanted to be published right away. So when Library of the Living Dead came knocking, I answered and jumped on board. No advance, no editing services, really nothing except for print-on-demand paperbacks that were formatted with font way too huge that ended up making the book a beast at $25 retail. I did meet some amazing authors that were published by Library of the Living Dead Press, and I am still in contact with quite a few of them. But that was the extent of the positive side. Don't get me wrong, it was a great experience, but it cut me out of my ability to shop Dead Mech to big publishers. Also, the press wasn't exactly up on the new technology called ebooks. There was no plan to release on Kindle. I did end up getting my rights back and publishing Dead Mech and the entire Apex trilogy myself. Fast forward a couple years, and I'll cover those years in a later episode, trust me. And via one of the Library of the Living Dead authors I knew, I was able to get my foot in the door with Severed Press. They were an up-and-coming small press out of Australia that was specializing in post-apocalyptic fiction and wanted to get into military sci-fi. Hey, the Apex trilogy was both. They published the series and sales trickled along. Mind you, I was still working at the organic pharmacy. Full-time writing hadn't happened yet, so even a trickle of sales was good for me. Then organic pharmacy went belly up and I found myself unemployed. Again. Here's the thing about my life and career. I'm a leap of faith guy. Sometimes a push of faith guy. but rarely do I make a big move unless there is no other option. I could have gone back on the road as a salesman, or maybe gone back in the kitchen as a cook. Neither were appealing or conducive to the lifestyle that worked for my family. Lucky for me, Severed needed straight up zombie fiction. Old school zombies right out of a Romero movie. That's when I came up with Suburbia. Honestly, I can't tell you how lucky I got with Suburbia. It came at the perfect time. Which is the story of publishing, really. Luck and timing coming together to make a writing career. Suburbia took off, and so did the sequels. I then wrote my mega series, which did great, and just kept writing. I was able to write a novel a month per Severed Press and really crank out some fiction. I peaked with Salvage Merc 1, which was followed by Fighting Iron. Both were highly successful, and I thought I had made it. Of course, life changes. The market changes, Amazon changes. So when I released Rogue Galactic Bounty Hunter, it did very well, and is a series that has been very popular, but not popular enough to hit Salvage Merc 1 numbers. Income slid, expenses grew, and it was time to go back to the working world outside my home office. This is not anything special or new. 95% of professional writers do not make a full-time living at it. I'd had a good run and probably could have pulled out of the dive, but time was short and our bank account was low. I had a son in college and a daughter that would be following in a couple years. We couldn't afford to wait through the long famine for the feast to finally arrive. If it ever would arrive again. And honestly, I needed a break. I'd written 50 novels in 5 years. 50. 5-0. That's a lot of writing, and I was burned out. Going to a 9 to 5, which really was a 7:30 to 5:30 because greedy capitalist pigs, was a welcome change to the constant grind of writing. I took over a year off from writing, except for a couple short stories here and there. It was nice, but it wasn't. And that is a whole other story. One day I may get into detail about the insanity I found myself in, but not today. It is a crazy story, though. One day. Drumroll, please. Then COVID hit. I had just negotiated a fat salary and was pretty damn proud of myself for not being bullied into taking a bad deal made up of a low salary and high commission structure. By the way, the carrot and stick BS doesn't work. I mean, it doesn't work at all. Not the carrot, nor the stick. It's a crap way to manage and run a business, and if you're doing it, then stop and get some education. You're ruining your business and will never see the potential you could see if you actually... Sorry, I digress. Be kind, Jake. Don't preach. Be kind. Alright, so COVID hits, and because I had such a high salary, I was suddenly very expensive to keep on the payroll. Because I didn't have a crystal ball, I actually had ended up negotiating my ass right out of a job. Laid off due to COVID. Once again, luck and timing came along. Someone I knew from back in the podcasting days was Brian Rathbone. He lives local to me, and along with Beth Revis and Jamie Mason, was also a co-host of the Asheville WNC Writers Coffee House. Brian needed someone to narrate, produce audiobooks for him. I had the skills and needed the work ASAP. And once again, I was back behind the mic recording words. But this time, they weren't my words. I've been doing that for the past few months to get by while I ramp up my writing career again. Which brings us here, to this podcast. Full circle, people. Full circle. I just completed the 6th book in the Rogue series, and I'm diving into the 7th book. I am also going to be closing out my Flipside series soon. I got the rights back to my Kaiju Winter series, so I'll be recording those audiobooks ASAP. I'll also write the 4th and final book in that series. That'll be an episode in of itself. And here we are, all caught up. Now, each week will be slightly different. I want Writing in Suburbia to be for fans and readers, as well as writers looking for advice. Some episodes may be heavy on what's going on with my writing, while some episodes may be just me chatting about something cool I liked that week. There will even be episodes where I workshop a novel with a friend of mine. And some weeks, like this week, will be more of an essay style. Not to mention the extras that will pop up in this feed. like the original Dead Mac podcast and the occasional Drabble reading. Maybe even a chapter from the latest novel, or possibly I hand things over to another author and let them share their work. I want to keep it flexible and fun, so stay tuned. Now, before I say goodbye, how's about a super quick word from our sponsor? Which is me. I'm the sponsor. Hey, all you crazy folks out there! Do you like zombies? Do you like mechs? Do you like post-apocalyptic wastelands filled with cults and cannibals and city-states and hundreds of thousands of the undead? Then you're gonna love Dead Mech! In the far, far future, Dead Mech asks the question, what happens when a mech pilot dies while piloting their 50-foot battle robot and then becomes a zombie? You get a Dead Mech! Dead Mech is available for free as an ebook, and you can find the link at jakebible.com. Want to listen for free? Then check out the re-release of the original podcast version of the novel. Subscribe for free at jakebible.substack.com, and you'll get an episode each week delivered right to the podcast player of your choice. Hell, you may have already noticed an episode or two in this very feed. Don't want to wait each week? Then feel free to either become a paid subscriber at jakebible.substack.com and get all of the episodes at once, or go to jakebible.com and purchase the audiobook from the web store. Or buy it from one of those giganto mega corporations. They have copies waiting for you too. Remember, head to jakebible.com or jakebible.substack.com. You're gonna love it! That guy is crazy, right? Phew. Alright, before I kick it over to the end credits, I wanted to just say thank you. Thank you for listening, thank you for reading, thank you for being you and digging my insanity. Just one big thank you. As the podcast evolves, I hope to have guests on and to go deeper into issues that aren't just related to my writing career and works. Someone I admire is David Chang, the world-famous chef. If you get a chance, check out his podcast. He gets very real and very honest, and it's refreshing. And those are two things I hope to always offer to y'all. Realness and honesty. And some kindness, because we all could use a little more in our lives these days. Again, thanks y'all. I'll talk to you next week. Oh, and something to always remember. You can only fail if you quit. Life, writing, everything is a long game. So keep at it. Cheers, y'all. Writing in Suburbia with Jake Bible is a Jake Bible Fiction LLC production, all rights reserved. All music is by Kevin MacLeod at incompetech.com. Kevin has been a huge part of the podcast community for well over a decade now, so check him out and drop him some coin if you get a chance. Full credits are in the show notes. For all links to works and stuffs mentioned in the episode, please check out the show notes or head over to jakebible.substack.com. Thank you for listening. Cheers, y'all.